Candy was a big hit back in 1990 for the pop star known as Iggy Pop. All these years later, he's still on stage and back on the charts. And talking to Anthony Mason for the record.
On stage, Iggy Pop has always lived on the edge. He's a rock provocateur, a restless and reckless frontman who has excited and offended.
I'm still not sure what the civilized world wants to do about me. I'm not sure what their intentions are.
Hi, everybody!
With his latest album, the artist often called the godfather of punk has made a belated bid for respectability.
There have been plenty of naysayers in my life and career since I started. I wanted to say, I can succeed at this.
He has. His highest charting album ever, Post-Pop Depression, is nominated for a Grammy.
I just started jumping up and down like baboons do before they're gonna fight.
And he's the subject of a documentary, Gimme Danger, which shows how he invented the stage dive. At 69, he still gets the urge.
I shouldn't be doing that, but every once in a while, spirit.
I thought you'd given up stage diving.
Well, I gave it up here, but not here. You want to connect.
Yes.
And granted, it's a very fundamental way to connect, but it's a connection that I've found in my life.
As eloquent as Iggy is in person, on stage, he's a blunt instrument, the out-of-control alter ego of Jim Osterberg.
I don't know how that works. I haven't got a clue. Something happens.
But you obviously like it.
I need it.
You do?
Yes.
What do you get back in that connection?
Love.
These are your folks.
This is my father, James Osterberg, Sr., my namesake, and this is Luella, my mother. And they were exemplary parents.
James Osterberg Jr. grew up in a trailer park in Ypsilanti, Michigan.
At Tappan Junior High,
Wonderful school.
you were voted most likely to succeed by your class.
Yeah.
You wrote in a friend's yearbook that you were going to be the 43rd president of the United States.
I was interested in politics.
You were?
I went door to door for Kennedy. But between then and later, music seduced me.
The name Iggy came from his first band, the Iguanas. In the late 60s, he formed the Stooges. And his alter ego, the dangerous frontman known to roll around on broken glass, was born.
You put yourself at physical risk.
Yeah, I did.
What was that about?
Well, once you start something, if you're me, you need to finish it.
The Stooges weren't commercially successful, but they were influential. Nirvana's Kurt Cobain called their album Raw Power his all-time favorite record. It was mixed by David Bowie.
Where did you meet?
In a bar. In a bar in New York.
On the Dinah Shore Show with Iggy in 1977, Bowie described their different sounds.
Mine comes from sort of up to from there, and Jimmy's comes from about here down to about there. You know.
I don't know. I wonder what he means by that. Gee whiz.
I don't know. I'll ask you later.
Okay, kid.
Okay.
I'll tell you.
Bowie played keyboards behind Iggy on tour that year.
He was nicer to me than he had to be. That is a super rare thing with a Hig. I know what you're thinking. What is a Hig? Huge industry giant.
Bowie and Iggy would collaborate on more than 3 albums of material, including this song.
This is your work.
That is my work.
It hangs in Iggy's Miami bungalow. He took up painting because Bowie had 2.
This represents my inflamed soul. And these are little devils whispering bad suggestions in my ear.
Through much of the 70s, as he moved between Detroit, LA, and New York, the devil Iggy battled was heroin. It landed him in UCLA's Neuropsychiatric Institute.
Why did you check yourself into a mental institution?
Because I become a prisoner of my own theatricality.
It took time, but he turned it around.
I lived a very straight life with a crooked mind.
Can you live a straight life with a crooked mind?
Yes, you can.
And by the late 90s, he'd moved to Miami.
This is where I would prefer to be just about all the time, just about every day.
That same decade, pop culture finally began to embrace Iggy. He had his biggest radio hit. And his music was featured in the 1996 film Trainspotting.
Are you conscious of the influence of your band?
I have a feeling that I've had some sort of minor spiritual influence. I went to the Fillmore in New York, and there were 4 guys on stage with no shirt on, and they all looked like me, and it was the Red Hot Chili Peppers. You know, and I thought, oh, how do I compete with that?
Here comes success.
There aren't many Iggy's left out there, are there?
Well, there's Iggy and there's...
Josh Homme produced and co-wrote Iggy's new album.
I look at Iggy as this kind of colorful piece of art. It has this grizzled beauty about his perspective and his persona, his body, his experience.
But Iggy Pop says this album is likely his last.
It's a 40-year-old guy's schedule. It's not a 69-year-old guy's schedule, and I'm doing all right with it, but I would be a fool to try to keep it up.
Jimmy Osterberg is ready to slow down now that the world seems to have caught up with his alter ego.
This century's been a fresh start for me, and the sky's cleared. Everything that wouldn't work suddenly started to work.
What do you think happened?
I don't know. The simplest thing I would think is that maybe society and I met halfway.